Welcome everyone to the Play Pouch podcast. It's that time of the month once again as we discuss all things gaming, what we've been playing, what we haven't been playing, what we've been looking forward to, and maybe a little bit of a juicy take on some news that might have appeared. Bethesda, anyone, maybe a bit of PlayStation. But today, the whole gang's here. I'm joined, of course, by Alan, Colm, and Pete. How are we doing, gents? How's your gaming been this month?
Shit for me, anyway.
Shit.
Well, completely non-existent, I would say. So, but I'm here to discuss various topics with you guys. But no, I haven't been playing anything actually. So, but I am here regardless.
Nothing at all. Have you played any game all month?
Nope.
Right, Pete's contribution to this first part. Thank you, Pete. Alan.
That's all right, mate.
Alan or Colm, who wants to go first, or do you want me to go? I'll go a bit afterwards because I've got a lot to say about one game, but I think we're all going to talk about it. But Alan, what have you been playing, my friend?
What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Star Fox because obviously I streamed a bit of that last month when it came out. I actually did something I've never done before. There's a level called Solar. I think I had it on stream. That is the fire planet, and I actually, for the first time in my life, I got a medal for it, which means you have to get 100 hits. It's a hard thing to do, very hard thing to do. And I've done it once. I haven't done it since. I hit that. So a little pat on that for myself. There we go. I got.
Oh, well done, mate.
Got a medal on Solar.
Right.
It's a bullshit level.
Did you complete it? Because I on the stream, and well, I don't need to spoil the stream, but
I didn't finish on stream. I was running on short on time. I had to go and do something. Otherwise, I would have probably started again. I will not start again. I probably would have continued. But yeah, I've completed it multiple times. Yeah, there's like 2 different endings to the game as well. There's like a faux ending and then a proper ending. I will probably stream it again. Now I'm more adept. Now I will make sure I get more time. But yeah, I'll probably stream another one of Star Fox. So there's been that. I've gone back to Jurassic World Evolution 3. As you know, I've had issues with the limitations of what you can actually do. So I actually the map I was on, I have restarted the whole map, and since then I have not been hit with any limitations. I've built.
What did you do differently?
Nothing. They've been patching it. They've been patching it because people brought up the fact that you can build this, that, and the other, but all of a sudden you hit with sort of a limitation bar and thinking, why? It's a Jurassic World game. You give me this space to build what I want. Why can't I build it? The graphics are no better than the last game. There's a couple of extra.
Oh, it's memory, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But it's an Xbox Series X. It should be fine. But now it does what it should do. And I have had so that island, I am building nicely.
Go on, Pete. Bury it. Bury the Xbox. I heard the noise, Pete. Go on. Bury it.
No, it's fine. You know, it's different strokes for different folks. Like if you feel comfortable being locked into economy, that's absolutely fine.
No, but I mean about the power, because when Alan said about he expected more from the Xbox Series X, you were kind of like, well, I mean, I don't disagree. I think it's a bit of a toaster as well, but.
No, they just got to reorganize the way they store information. For fuck's sake, you can't you can't really sort of like have everything in, a temporary RAM. Like, think of a different fucking way of storing and increasing everything, because that's the problem. It's hitting the RAM limit of what it can actually hold and display. That's what it is. So,
yeah, that's what causes memory leakage on a lot of games that they bring out.
Yeah, because they don't efficiently dump and renew on the fly.
Yeah, as they should.
I'd like to know quickly, Pete and Com, as the two kind of PC master race out of us four. When you look at the Xbox Series X, just quickly, I know it's a little bit off topic, but it doesn't need a long answer. How old a PC is that the equivalent power to, in your minds?
About 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. I had the Xbox Series X, obviously, and then I got rid of it when they started fucking about with doing what they were doing. And the PC I have is substantially more powerful. Way more. The fact,
in terms of like compute per like
yeah.
you know
But the fact that I
milliseconds.
can, like, I know I had a couple of issues, but that's because I didn't update my drivers. Jesus Christ, I can't speak properly, which is what were causing me some issues. But after I did it, I'm like, when we play a game that we're talking about later, I can run that on full specs, absolutely everything maxed out. And on the Xbox, you're limited, you're capped at what you can use, the graphics wise settings and everything. You're capped at what there is. So I can see a lot of things more clearly than what you guys can. And I noticed when I've gone back to playing games that I've played on the Xbox onto the PC, again, it's just so much more graphically better. It's smoother. There's less hitches about. So yeah, I can't complain. I think
The issue is that with the Xbox architecture, it's not utilizing everything to the max for fear of it failing. So it's got like these sort of guardrails in place where it only like utilizes fucking 80% or 90% of its power or something, and it always has some shit in reserve, or it's not using the full, juice that it can output, basically.
Do you think that when Alan criticizes the Xbox for that, and I criticize it all the time when it can't hit 60 frames per second, I'm all over it. I slam it. Are we justified in being unhappy with these limitations, or should we be like, would you expect it's 10 years old? Or should it be like, hold on, companies should do more. They should understand the architecture they're working with, even if that means the graphics aren't. I mean, for me, I prefer performance over graphics, so that's what I expect. But it's Alan, for example, because he was the one who's talking about the game. Should he be? Is it justified he be unhappy at the Xbox's X limitations, or should it just be, what do you expect for a 10 years old hardware?
Al?
The thing is, it's the hardware. I don't know what they can do now. I don't think it's like a simple patch thing. This is hardware. They built this thing thinking, okay, this thing's going to last the next 8, 9, 10 years. They obviously didn't realize how much games would progress that much. They obviously didn't think how detailed games have become, and they have. So this is an Xbox problem, or this is a Microsoft problem. They should have fixed this a long time ago. They should have. No, they have the tools to do it. They had the tools back then to do it. They're obviously all these companies now are working on the next ones. Whatever the next Xbox is called, or the next PlayStation, obviously PSX. But yeah. They know what they're doing, and whether they actually make these future-proof, because they always say, "Oh, this is the next-gen console." Well, it's not really. It's just an upgrade.
It is. But I think you're being a bit light on them. I mean, Xbox is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft are, a technology company that have created stuff for PCs and stuff like that. So they should be able to create a gaming system or a console or whatever that is equivalent to a PC.
Yeah, they should.
With the increase in price, especially now, I mean, the Xbox has had another price increase, especially with the increases in price compared to the PCs. When consoles were 200 quid, I think it was fair to kind of say, well, they're 200 quid. Of course, they're going to be significantly less powerful, and that's the market you're buying into. But when they've upped the price to 550, 600, whatever, they're 650, I think now, the Xbox is X. In America, I think they're 650. You're getting to the price of a low-end PC, but still a PC that's probably going to be able to do more than the consoles are. So the more they up in the price, the more I don't think it is being unrealistic to up your expectations, because they're asking for a premium price, and a product specification probably is you can get a PC or equivalent probably for cheaper. I know the PC prices have gone up because of the RAM shortages, so maybe it will even itself out because the PC prices have gone up. But still, I don't think it. I think there's levels. I don't think it's that unfair for me or Alan to be a bit critical, because, like I say, these aren't 250 quid machines. This isn't a Switch. These are not priced to be. These are not priced as Switches. These are meant to be premium home consoles, which cost nearly as much as a low end. A low end PC, but still a PC that can do a lot more than the Xbox can, and then more or less the same price. So of course we should be a bit more.
The issue is as well. Sorry, Pete, go on.
I was just going to say, I think what we're all forgetting is that the game optimization needs to be on point, and it's gotten lazier and lazier, and that needs to change, because Rockstar has consistently shown that with an optimized game, you can have both graphics and good gameplay. It's just that you have to spend more time optimizing it. Now with AI, there's no fucking excuse. So the way I see it is, well, if instead of having a team optimizing, have a smaller team using AI to optimize it. I don't get it.
No.
There's no excuse for an unoptimized game, is what I'm basically saying these days. If you have a good optimized game and you put it on the console, it will still run just as good.
Witcher 3. That's what I'm going to say.
So Xbox's next thing is this Project Helix, or whatever it is. $1,200 is the price tag for the next.
Keep it.
Yeah, for the next console.
That's
And apparently,
that's the same price as the Steam machine as well. Colm.
Yeah, but apparently it's because it's a PC hybrid. That's what this is. It's a PC hybrid, but it's not going to be as powerful as a PC. So if you're spending that much money on a gaming console, you're only a couple of £100 short of actually having a pretty decent rig.
Well, first of all, Colm, you're an idiot for spending $1,200 on a console when you should just spend it on a PC, because you'd get a lot more juice out of it. It's stupid. It's all just geared around the same old fucking shit. Make profit margins. It's just like, talk to the fucking people that make the circuitry, the actual hardware and that, the motherboards. Why the fuck are you charging us so much? Or why the fuck are these precious metals so costly, etc.? Just go up the chain. You'll soon see a greedy cunt somewhere.
When it comes to what you said there, Pete, if it's just about the stats, then of course I agree with your comment that if you're going to spend that much money, of course you're always going to go PC. But there are people in the world, even if it's not you, who don't want the complexity of a PC. So it would depend on how it depends on how the operating system is. If it's simplified, which I imagine it will be, at least to a certain degree, then that will be the selling point. If it's not, and it comes across as nearly as complicated to people as a PC, then of course, why would you ever go the console route? The idea of the console is meant to be simplicity for those who are not as tech savvy as others. The sacrifice is, as you just said, you're losing value on the actual stats of the machine. You are, but you're getting ease of use. The compromise is ease of use, and there is a market for that. But this is all depending on how this hybrid PC machine, as Com's talking about, how they actually go about it. If it just ends up looking and running like a PC, then of course there's no room for it, full stop. But they have to simplify it. Not only simplify it, but they have to do it so that most games probably will run to a certain level on it, like they do the consoles. That is one of the main, or at least it's meant to be, selling points of the consoles is that games are meant to be easier to get to run on these things because they're dealing with exactly the same hardware on every single console. The infrastructure is exactly the same, so it should be easier. With the PC, as you guys know, there's so many different parts to it. There's so many different parts in the PCs and stuff like that. It's much harder to get that stuff working, especially if you're more of a layman. And all they want to do, and I know Alan will agree with this with me as well, as me and him are the console players more, you just want to turn it on and play the game.
Yeah, but look,
you don't want to fiddle. I don't want to fiddle for half an hour just to play a game.
Two things. It's not that difficult to learn how to navigate around a modern PC environment, right?
To you.
No. It isn't logically difficult. And if you can't do it, fine. But I'm not going to judge that. But if you prefer a simpler environment, that's fine. But the PCs now have an Xbox mode. So I don't get it. You can switch over to Xbox. My system can't do it yet because it hasn't rolled out to us, I don't think. But you're going to be able to fucking do it. So I still don't see what the argument is of buying a £1,200 console.
I mean,
people just don't want to learn. That's all. They just don't want to learn anything new, which is fine if that's the way you want to do it. But it's not that difficult to sort of understand.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some stuff on this new Xbox that's going to cost people $1,200 or whatever it's going to be. So it's got a custom AMD chip built into it on a TSMC 3 node. It's AMD RDNA 5 architecture with next generation ray tracing. 36 gigabyte to 48 gigabyte GDDR7. Its NUP is capable. Yeah, its NUP is capable of up to 110 tops for neural assisted rendering, and their target is 4K gaming up to 120 FPS.
Read the T-flops thing again.
Where am I looking on?
Did you say T-flops? The previous, the sentence before the last.
Yeah, 110 for neutral assisted rendering.
Mm-hmm.
And machine learning upscaling, apparently.
Well, it's still costly for a game sponsor. So, someone say something, man, because it seems like there's
a lot of them are speculation. They haven't been 100% confirmed. The only one that's been confirmed is the ray tracing part.
Well, I mean, Steam must. There is a market for this, or they wouldn't be releasing this Steam machine. Now, the pricing's they've screwed. No, the Steam machine. The reason why the Steam machine is going to fail, not because the idea is not sound, it's because they're releasing it at the time when stuff's, especially RAM, is just too expensive. So they're having to release it at a price point that is just borderline insanity for a console to be over $1,000. I don't care if it's a hybrid. I could care less if it's a hybrid PC. But this is what I mean. This is why they screwed it up. They should have done it a couple of years ago, maybe before the big AI boom. But couldn't predict the future. I suppose.
Dude, I don't believe for one fucking second that these hardware components cost as much as they do in retail. Of course, they fucking don't. Like, say you've got like a £500 motherboard. That's going to have taken the actual manufacturer, 20 quid to produce. And then that's going to pass over to whoever is fucking selling it, if it isn't them. And they'll put like a markup of like fucking 900, 1,000% on it.
Yeah.
That's what it is, dude. They're not willing to shrink their profit margin for the sake of consumer,
No, they don't want to lose money making it, because it's been well known for a long time, especially the PlayStation, especially with Sony. They were selling their PlayStations at a loss, but they were willing to do so because they were going to make it back up, because obviously they were going to get all the software sales. But the actual PlayStation units were actually being sold at a loss. Maybe not hundreds of £100 a loss, but they were not making money on the actual selling of the consoles. They were all their money.
Yeah, but that changed really quickly, dude. Like the way the PlayStation 5s are built compared to the Xbox ones, there's no comparison. The Xbox ones are built solidly. PS5s or whatever, they're just built like they're sellotapes together. It's awful. It's really awful, the internals, man. Trust me.
Held together by duct tape and hope.
Seriously, it is. In comparison to the Xbox construction, solid build. But anyway, I don't give a fucking shit about this shit anymore.
Okay, so back to what Alan was saying before we all jumped to the console PC war.
Yeah, sorry, Al. Go on, pal. Yeah, carry on.
What else have you been playing, Alan, other than Jurassic Park Evolution, where there was issues?
Well, so there's been 2 other games, but I think we're all going to come in on those 2.
Okay, other than the 2 games that I'm pretty sure that at least me and Alan can talk about. Colm, have you been playing anything other than the game I know you've been playing, and not Assassin's Creed, which I know me and Alan can talk about in a sec? Anything you've been playing, Colm, other than the obvious?
Yeah, I've played 2 other games. One of them has now been deleted from my thing because of the amount of issues I've been having with it. And if they actually still gave a toss about it, I would be writing a very, very informal written complaint to Steelwood Studios because they need to fix their fucking game, and that is Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Oh, they'll listen to that. Yeah.
See, but it's not even that new com. It's a couple of years old. So what makes you think you're going to fix it now?
Well, they're not going to fix it. This is what I'm saying. They're not going to fix it, which is why I've no longer have it in my Steam downloaded. Because obviously I did the streams for it, and then my data got corrupted because the game crashed, and then I got all the way back to where I was, and then my game crashed, and my data got corrupted, and I've just been like, no, I'm not even going to bother anymore because there's clearly something wrong with the game, and it's so glitchy and buggy as well still. You know, even 5 years later, they kind of just put it out and then left it. So yeah, I will play in that. I've stopped that. I'm not doing that no more. And the other game I've been playing in my spare time, and the very precious little time I have at the moment, is Subnautica 2. So,
how are you getting on with that one?
It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's not quite as good as the first one, but I don't think second versions of the game always are. But they've put some interesting tweaks into it. And the game's not finished yet either. You know, it's still in development. This is kind of like, you know, a beta. Or is it a beta? Yeah, I'd say it's beta. But they've given us they give you quite a lot of content like to do. And yeah, it's not a bad game. I'm looking forward to see what they actually do with the story as a whole, because you only get so much of it before it's kind of like go and explore, but you've only got this area to do that in at the moment.
It's still very much in early access, it seems. How many years away do you think before they hit their 1.0 release? Have they even got a roadmap or anything? Say, oh, this is when.
I think they have got a roadmap. Yeah, I'm sure I saw something on it. So yeah, it's still in early access at the moment, and they're hoping for it to get a full release in October next year.
Oh, wow.
So about a year and a half. Yeah. Let me quickly say hello to some people in the chat because we're not ignoring you. It's just we're obviously in mid-conversation. Big up to Coover in the chat. Big up to Ryan as well. Ryan's got a question for you, just for you, Alan. So I'll put it on the screen if you want to reply to it. He's asking you about 2K, I think. That's the one, isn't it? Oh no, sorry, that's the one. My bad. That one.
When you do next Sunday, we'll match. Okay. Tomorrow. We'll go tomorrow. I've got some more bits to do actually. So yeah, I spent some of my MFP, so I bought some more characters, and I can probably do a few more live events. So yeah, I'll try tomorrow about lunchtime.
There you go. Big up to Coover as well. We'll be talking about a game I know Coover's been all over. And big up to Coover as well, who is talking about, I think he agrees with you, Pete, about the PC stuff there.
What's up, Rufus and everyone? Hello.
Yeah, it is supply and demand. That's the RAM shortage I think he's talking about. But big up to Rufus as well.
Yeah, all the RAM's been taken up with all this AI data centers, mate. So, you know.
Yep. And it's affecting all the electronic prices. That's why the PlayStation and the Xbox has gone up and the PCs. So we're all reaping the rewards for AI. Congrats, guys. Okay, so Subnautica 2. So next October com is a 1.0, they say.
Yeah.
Is it? And in your mind, considering you've been playing it, is that realistic or not? Like, is it? No, this is going to take several more years than that. To be
No. The game isn't far from what I think, anyway, from being finished. There's not a lot of issues with it at all. You get a little bit of loading issues every now and again. They're like if you're changing biomes and stuff like that. But I think it's just them trying to fill it out a bit more because a lot of it just feels empty. You know, like because you're obviously in the sea, you're on an alien planet in the sea. and there's creatures and everything flying about everywhere. But you get to certain spaces where it's a little bit empty, and I think it's just a case of them, finishing those areas, making it a bit more expansive, and then they'll be ready. So I think the timeline from's, I think, very generous to them. I think they could probably have it done before, but they want to get it right, obviously. So yeah, take your time and get it out completed.
Might you be doing a stream on it, Com? I think you might have mentioned.
Yes, I will definitely be doing a stream on it.
Okay, look out for that in the future, then, folks. So the two games I can talk about is two that both Com and Alan have been playing. Well, no, sorry, Com hasn't played Assassin's Creed. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed quickly. Me and Alan can mention it then we can talk about the one.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, go on then. Okay, I'll wake me up when you guys start.
Okay. Okay. So for me, it hasn't grabbed me as I was hoping it was. So I've been asking for a Black Flag remake for years. All I honestly really wanted was it to run at 60 frames per second. I didn't need updated graphics. I didn't need all these different shaders and everything they've got now. I didn't need better water effects. I just wanted it to run at 60. That would have been enough for me to replay it again. So I actually didn't ask for all this stuff. I didn't ask them to change stuff. I just wanted to play it in 60 frames per second. That's all I actually wanted on my console. So they could have done a patch for free like they did with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I would have been fine. Or they could have charged me 10 quid for a slight upgrade, and I still would have probably paid it. So all the changes they've made, I haven't been that impressed with, especially the combat. Alan and me have both said that we prefer the original Assassin's Creed combat, and this is
definitely
it's a halfway point. It's not. I'm not going to say it's as bad as Odyssey or even Valhalla. I think Com says he likes Valhalla's combat, but I know that me and Alan don't. And this is a hybrid. It's like there is small elements of the old combat there, but for me, it's incredibly janky. The camera is sometimes crazy. So much so is when you're fighting somebody, right, and then you do one of your executions, your takedowns, you're hit from the other direction without even knowing they're there because the camera doesn't pull back fast enough. So I've got big issues with the combat and the camera, and it's stuff like that where I just think to myself, I just wanted it to better performance. I didn't need these changes, so it hasn't grabbed me. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just like I've barely played it. I've put like 4 hours into it, and the combat is just not for me. Alan, where do you stand on it?
I'm having issues with the actual parrying, the counter system. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. You just wait for the little blue flash, if you like, from your opponent, and then you just tap LB, and then you counter. For some reason, I can't get the timing right. I don't know what it is. I know that when it flashes red, you roll out of the way because you can't block that. But when it flashes blue, I tap LB. And for some reason, they're still hitting me.
Some of the windows are small, especially with some of the enemies I found.
Yeah,
the faster guys with the rapier weapons, they hit you very fast. So the timing on that is a bit more strict. The normal guys, I haven't had a problem, but there are certain enemies. I think these are probably the ones you're talking about who do these little fast swipes, and it is sometimes you think you've pressed it and then you haven't. So maybe the timing window is not generous enough. I don't know. But then again, if they make it more generous, then it's going to be too easy to block the other guy.
Exactly. I don't want an easy game. I really don't. I want a challenging game. I want a fun game, and that's kind of what I'm getting at the moment. I'm finding it fun. I'm accepting it for what it is. It's not the same as it was. I mean, there's been slight improvements. Yeah, it looks pretty underwater. If you've had a little dive into the sea, it looks pretty down there. Sure does. I love the blood effects. They're pretty cool. Just running up to people and then just slashing their throats with your wrist blade, and there's like a little splatter of blood. And I thought that's pretty cool.
There's an air of jank to it as well.
Yeah, yes, there is.
I wouldn't say it's an over. I haven't encountered any like crashes or anything like that when I say a buggy game, but there's been some animation issues. I would say I'm sure you guys know what I mean when I say they feel floaty in the world. My character feels floaty in the world. It feels like he's kind of not there. He feels like the way some of the parkour is, it's not. I mean, Assassin's Creed it's always been a little rough around the edges, even the most kind of like, even the most higher budget ones, when it wasn't a remake, even stuff like Unity, we all remember the state that came out. And I'm not saying it's come out. No, it runs. There's no crazy bugs like that. I'm not that hard on it, but it just seems another maybe 3 or 4 months just to kind of smooth it out. Maybe it just feels a little janky. It's not quite the polished finished product, Alan. I don't know if it's only me who feels that way. But that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, there's some jank to it. I'm just hoping maybe they can fix it with a patch or two. I mean, it's playable. It's not, like you said, it's not a Unity. It's not a massive mess. And I'm enjoying it.
I think I've heard that phrase before. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully they'll fix it.
Well, isn't that for more or less every game that comes out?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not a functional game. It is. There's no bugs that I've seen, unless there's some kind of a save bug that deletes your data. But there's nothing that stops you playing. It is a fully functional game, and there's certainly been worse games I've seen at launch. Several worse. But it's functional. It's just a bit janky. And more than I think it should be. It doesn't stop me playing it, but it's just like I would have just taken this just as a patch and played it again. And I spent 45 quid on it all I really wanted was a patch.
Which the Pro will be. Every game gets a patch.
All I wanted was a patch for the original Black Flag. If they would have just done a 60 frames per sec patch on the original game, that would have been enough for me. I would have just replayed that. So for me, I don't know if it's been worth my money, if I'm honest, but there we are. And I suppose the last game, I think it's going to be the big one. It's the one, according to Colm, I've put over 100 hours into it.
I know, ridiculous.
Yeah. Even though some of that is me just leaving my Xbox on, and that's the truth. So you can probably take maybe 10 or 15 hours off that. So maybe it's closer to about 85 or so, or 90 maybe.
Even if I do that, if I can take 10 to 12 hours off of your time, that it says on my dashboard right now, that still puts you at 115 hours.
Okay.
What game are we talking about?
Space Marine 2.
Oh, right. Okay.
Of course, now myself, Colm and Alan did stream this. We streamed the whole campaign on the channel. We then streamed a little bit of our co-op escapades on the channel as well. And we've been kind of continuing. Some of us more than others. I obviously have put a lot in. I'm not the only one. Someone else who is not on the channel, but maybe you may not be watching, no names, also put a lot of time into it as well. He's nearly spent as much time as me. So, so obviously I like it, or do I? That much? Not as much as you'd think. I have some serious issues with it, actually. The more I'm playing it, the higher up in difficulty I'm going, the more of these issues I'm noticing. So Alan's probably played it the least. Alan, where are you at it? The campaign, we all gave the campaign. Go and watch the stream, guys. But I think the review we generally, I said 7 out of 10. I think we were all in that kind of 6, 7. It was, the storyline was average at best. Starts off well, and I think we can all agree, and then kind of peters out. The enemies become a bit less fun as well as you go.
Fuck the Chaos Marines.
Yeah, they're a bit harder. They're also a bit cheaper in some ways, although Tyranids can be very cheap as well in their own different ways. So where are you at, Alan? Obviously, I know you haven't put as much time as me or Colm probably has. So where are you at with it? You're still, I suppose, in your early journeys, if that's the right word.
Yeah, it's not grabbing me wholly. You know, when I think Space Marine, I think there's other games I could be doing, thinking that are better. But it's a good filler for Gears, you know. Until when Gears comes out, Space Marine is going to get kicked to the curb completely.
I was going to say, it feels like it is time filler for you guys until better things come.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed there was no Gene Stealers in the game. I mean, they're part of the Tyranid army. Where were the Gene Stealers?
Yeah, you can't have everything.
They're in Space Hulk.
Yeah,
heard of it game.
But yeah, it's not wholly grabbing me. I mean, I've done all the operations now. What's left?
Oh, there is loads of stuff left. It depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go, I suppose.
I mean, because I've got my tech marine up to, was it 10 now? Level 10.
Yeah, but the max level is 100.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting to 100. No way. No
It's
way.
going to take a long time. So, what is it you don't like about it then, Al? Like if there's one thing that you can point out, I don't like, because the gunplay's pretty solid. There is no cover. There's no cover. It's not like Gears.
Yeah, I've got no problem with the actual combat. I think the combat's quite fun, especially when you bring out your power sword or your chain sword. That's pretty cool. I like that. The guns sound good. I don't like the fact. I've not tried the class, but I know Colm had comments about the sniper and how weak the sniper rifle was. Is it three or four headshots to put an enemy down? Thinking that's bullshit. Sniper rifle should blow an enemy's head off in one. Boss, fine. Yeah, okay. If it's a boss, fine. But if it's a normal grunt, one shot, blow the head off. That's exactly what a sniper rifle should do.
It can. The smallest enemies, they will one shot them, but it's just like only the smallest of enemies. Normally, the second level up, the Majoris, as they're called. Normally you have to do more than one, unfortunately, and that's the problem.
That's kind of where I'm at with that particular class. There's other little gripes, but they're minor gripes. It sounds like I'm hating on the game, but I'm not. I think the game's actually really good. I do enjoy it when I play it. It's actually a lot of fun. I don't know why Tyranids have got red blood. That's a bit weird.
What colour blood should they have?
Probably green or blue or something. They're aliens, for crying out loud, aren't they?
Yeah, but is that from the film Alien?
Maybe. They might as well, because when I used to have the Tyranid army when we played 40k, one of the skills my Hive Tyrant had was acid for blood. I'm thinking, well, straight from Alien, isn't it? So
of course
it should be green. Blood should be green. That's where I'm getting my logic from anyway.
What's the thing you like most about it then? What does it do best?
Definitely the
Oh, we love you too, Ryan. We love you all too, Ryan. Look at Ryan's message. What a lovely message. Love you too, buddy.
Cheers, Ryan.
As you are, dude. Sorry.
I think the combat's really fun. It's really fun. It's really easy to get into. So it's really accessible, which is what a game needs to be. It needs to be really accessible. So if anybody out there looking for a filler before E-Day comes out, it's on Game Pass. Space Marine 2. Check it out. It's worth a go. It is worth a go. Jump into with your mates. Bit of co-op fun. Why not?
Why not?
Okay, Colm, you put, did you say 50 or 60? You were saying
50
earlier?
hours in.
That's okay. So that's as long as most games you will find on the market, unless it's a JRPG, which can obviously go on for longer. So where are you at with it? Obviously, the campaign was what it was. I don't know if you want to add anything about the campaign, or we kind of said a lot of it already. But obviously, the multiplayer aspect is where the majority of those 50 hours have gone. So where are you at with it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. Obviously, we've got up a little bit more with difficulty levels, and Jesus Christ, it jumps. It's not a gradual. You've done this difficulty, now let's test you a little bit more. It's we are going to kill you in this game, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter. You are going to die, which I think took us by surprise when we did it, because we were like, oh yeah, it's fine, we'll be all right, we're quite comfortable with it. And then it was just no. Just literally no. I think we died like within the first 4 or 5 minutes of a mission, very, very quickly. I'm not going to mention the campaign because I don't think I need to. We've covered that enough. I do have, again, I have some gripes. I know you have one of the same gripes as me in regards to the character that I tend to run the most. Mm-hmm. But the biggest one is, again, the sniper. I love playing snipers in games. I do it in Gears. I've done it in this, and I've just completely kind of just walked away from it. I'm still trying to boost the sniper up as much as possible because I like the gameplay, but it seems pointless because you just don't have the time to actually do what you're supposed to do as a sniper. If you play the game, you'll realize the sniper is not a useful class in this game because you just get swarmed constantly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we all, when we decided to do this game, obviously me, you, and Alan, we all said, "Oh well, this is exactly what Alan said. It's a filler. And what Pete said, it's a filler till the next Gears of War comes out. And we all agreed that that's what it was. But yeah, I've gone actually into enjoying it. I think 50 hours, I'm still enjoying it. And now I'm pushing to obviously try and catch up with yourself on your 137 hours of gameplay.
I have had to hold back because I didn't want to get to the point where I couldn't play with anyone. So if I really wanted to smash it, I would have smashed it, and I haven't. I've tried to play a bunch of other characters. I've had restraint, so that because if I just kept on playing it, you're right. With the amount of hours I put in, my character could easily be, if not 100, I'd say probably at least 75, and he's not. He's 25 because I've held back because I didn't want to gather character because I'm doing it for the co-op. If I want to play a game by myself, there's better games than Space Marine. But it's not. I'm not playing it to play Sailor. I'm playing it so I can play with my friends. So I'm going to have my way to make sure that I don't get too higher level. So it becomes either I'm too powerful or they're too weak to do the content. So it's a really difficult balancing act, and that will get onto some of the problems with the game and the way the leveling system works. There's some big issues there, guys. That game is incredibly difficult to play with your friends and to remain within each other's power level. I mean, there's going to be differences in skill because we're all going to have strengths and weaknesses. Somebody might be better at aiming than I might be better at dodging than other people. You know, I'm just giving examples of just we might be slightly better at different things. But in this game, damage is kind of king. And if you level up a super weapon, you can be a terrible player. But if you've got a really powerful weapon, that will carry you a whole bunch of way. And the way it works is you level up weapons independently to classes. So you can completely ignore a class like I have, right? And I barely touched it. But if I've got a powerful weapon that's max level, I can go and breeze through a whole bunch of content, even though my character is incredibly low level, because I'm rocking the most powerful gun. Because the way they've done it, and it's a weird decision, I think, you level up the weaponry is different than you level up your characters. Mm-hmm. And I think it's created I don't know if antisocial is the right word because it's a weird. If you've ever tried playing with random people, and I have, you get a mix of people. You get some people who are literally new to the game, who are level 1 and don't really know what they're doing, and they've got the guns you'd expect a level 1 character to have, and they're playing at the right level, which is the easiest mode, which is what you should be playing when you first start, right, to learn the game. And then sometimes you'll be joined by some guy who says he's level 1, but he's got the most powerful gun in the game and destroys everything, and you're left there holding your dick.
Well, we experienced that, didn't we? Because we forgot to set it. I forgot to set it to private, and we had some guy come in who was a similar level to us, and he was gone. He ran in front of us, cleared everything before we even got there. We were like, "Well, okay."
It's not a fun experience. There's going to be some people. If all you care about is getting XP and doing runs as fast as possible, then maybe you won't care. But if you're trying to actually enjoy the game and enjoying the team aspect, where you all kind of have to work together, every class is meant to have strengths and abilities, and you have to kind of play together, which is what I personally am looking for. Seeing these people join you who run on ahead, and by the way, they can run on ahead because they know that nothing can kill them, because they can one-shot nearly everything, because they're on the easiest difficulty, and they've got a gun that should be used in the end game. Because the way the leveling works, it ruins the experience. So I'm only interested really with playing them with my friends, so at least we can all kind of play characters that are going to be quite balanced and we can all enjoy it, rather than just one of us. Even if it was me playing as the super powerful character, I wouldn't enjoy that either, because I'd be thinking, well, this is just too easy for me. What am I doing this for? I'm killing everything. There's no challenge. There's no fun. There's problems with game balance. And I'll say one more thing, because I could go on for ages and ages and ages.
I was going to say, breathe, mate. Breathe.
There is issues with the character balances. Com's kind of talked about it. Kuva in a chat. I don't actually agree with Kuva on this one, bless him. But I respect his opinion because I know he's put a lot of time in. I'm not saying that every character can't. I said to Colm before we went on air, every character can be made viable, but the amount of effort and time and stuff that it takes to make the characters that way is not balanced. There's a character called the Bulwark, which is basically the tank. He is given, in my opinion, the best perks. Nearly every perk he's got is either really powerful in general or is crucial to the kind of build you can make for him. Whereas so many of the other characters are not balanced. I'm not saying they don't have any good abilities, they do. But some of them, they don't get until like the end level 25. Whereas the Bulwark, right from day one, everything he's given, even the starting with 30% extra health, is fundamental in staying alive. So it's just an example I'm giving. The characters are not balanced. The Bulwark character is significantly the best character. Like, it's not even close. And it's not just me saying it. These are people who've been playing the game for years who say the same thing. So, like a lot of live service games, which is this kind of is, although I've seen much worse examples of live service, but it is kind of a live service. They, as a lot of these games do, they keep trying to change shit. They're trying to still balance it out, but every time they're balancing out, they're making the character too powerful, and then they've got to bring another character to try and be more powerful, or they nerf something, and then that character becomes. My favorite character is probably the Vanguard. Funny enough, he's considered the worst character, and I'm almost at the point now where I'm going to try to persevere with him just to prove a point, because I'm like that. But
well, I think it's all bollocks. So
thanks for that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's all in ways the same, mate. It's like there's always balancing fucking issues, and like, you know, they just, I don't know.
I don't think you can enjoy it. I wouldn't recommend the game unless you've got two mates to play it with, because it's 3 players. If you've got 2 friends to play it with, and you can all keep around the same level, it's a very enjoyable game. Because me and Colm have had some missions like that, even as recently as yesterday, where our backs were kind of up against it. It was a very hard mission. We just about pulled it off, and it was a fun thing to do because our backs were against the wall. We failed it the first time, and then we tried it again, and we won the second time. That stuff is a lot of fun. But when you're doing content and you've got one guy running ahead, he doesn't care about picking up healing because he doesn't have to care about it. He doesn't care about trying to search and find like this hidden data, which most of us need to level up. He doesn't care about it because he's already got the best gear. So do you know what I mean? It's the way they've done it is unbalanced. So I think it's quite a flawed experience. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. But you need to have 2 friends. And you all need to be willing to try to stay around the same level. That's just my opinion.
Ryan has a question. Question to all: what do you think of the new price of FC27? To be honest, it's a rip-off, and I won't be getting it. I've heard the deluxe version is 130 tons. Those of you who don't know, I fucking hate football, and everyone I think else loves it. I think I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't. So you're best off directing this question to the other 3.
Yeah, I won't be getting it. I didn't even get last year. I didn't get FC26 because I'm fed up of it. How much to charge for this game that could literally been given to you for probably £5 as an online update instead of charging you however much they're charging. I don't know the price of what they're charging, but EA and FC, whoever it is, I don't care anymore. Go fuck yourselves. I don't want your game.
All they would have done, mate, is just add a few lines of code to like bits and pieces here and there. They would have spent half an hour on it, and then they would have slapped FC27 and then sort of spent the rest of the time making up bullshit about what they actually put in when they didn't.
Yeah, they do. That's what they do. And I've said it. I can't remember who I was saying it to. It might have been on one of these podcasts or something in like last year or something. I was like, you're paying £80 for an update. That is what you're doing. You get
exactly.
You get players on a new thing, which, by the way, you can go into your settings and do anyway. You can transfer players anyway, and you get the new kits. That's what you're paying for, because the gameplay is exactly the same as all the others.
Oh, they'll pretend that there's updates like new motion fluidity system. It's just like, no, it isn't. It's exactly the same as before, mate.
Yeah.
Bollocks, I tell you, bollocks.
Yeah.
I'm so anti-football this year. I've become so anti-football due to the club I support having, in my opinion, 2 of the worst seasons that I remember. So it's completely made me lose interest. So I will
Can
not
I just say that match between us and who was it, France, or was it Argentina? Was it when we scored a goal and then we just went into defence for the rest of the game? It's like, well done, lads.
Argentina.
I don't know. I didn't watch a single World Cup game.
Neither did I really, but I know about what happened. Yeah, so it's Argentina you're talking
It's
about.
just fucking embarrassing, dude. Anyway.
I won't be getting EFC. I have admitted that I have been a sucker. I don't fall for these traps very often, but I have. Mainly because, just like the WWE games of Alan, they have a monopoly because of Konami and what happened to Konami when there used to be a proper competition for them. They have a monopoly to do whatever it is they want to do, so they can get away with charging, like Ryan said, they can get away with charging 120. And the thing is, Ryan says he won't buy it, and I'm not saying he will. But if you're a football fan, and as you said, Pete, it's a high percentage of people. It's not as many maybe as you think, but it is a lot of people, especially in the UK for sure, and maybe in other countries I can think of. But in the UK, yeah, there are a lot. People are going to pay it because there's no other options.
Idiots.
No, because there's no options.
Well, there is. You could buy the PC version and mod the granny out of it.
Okay, so let's say they don't want to buy a PC for £1.5 grand.
Well, if they've got a PC already, they can do it. It's like, look, if you want an expensive PC, you only want an expensive PC so you can run a game at like more than 60 frames a second. It's like if you get like a £600 to £800 PC right now, you can play all the latest games at 30. And a lot of people, kind of like casual gamers, a lot of casual gamers won't give a fuck about 30 frames or 60 frames. So it's all really just like elite levels, like squeezing out, as much frames as you can. You don't need it. Not really.
Well, you're also forgetting about the Ultimate Team addiction, and even though none of us fall for it, which I suppose should be a testament, there is a lot of people, some of them younger kids, younger than they should be, who do this Ultimate Team is like a borderline obsession for them. So they're always.
I will admit that I fall victim to microtransactions. Sometimes I just can't help it. Like the amount of money. Rufus mentioned that he still plays old school RuneScape and Warframe, right? Which I find quite interesting because I used to play Warframe all the time, and I think, what was it, Nick? I pumped in how much? Like 400.
I don't know if you want to admit to it online, mate.
No, I'll fucking admit, I don't give a flying shit. No,
wasn't it like 400 or 500? You told me
it was about 400 or 500. Yeah, it's a shocking amount, but especially considering I don't play it anymore. But yeah, I do fall victim to microtransactions a lot sometimes, like I have with Magic the Gathering. Which is why I don't play it anymore, because it's just so fucking insidious, and like they're literally printing money at this point, which is what it does.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I used to. When I was a bit younger, I did used to play Ultimate Team. Like I smashed the hell out of it for years and years, and EA probably over the combined amount of time that I played it, easily got over £5,000-6,000 just from me alone, because the amount of money I bought in the game and packs opened and all these kind of stupid things that I did when I was young and naive. I'm like, well, I've got money, it's all right. Until the harsh reality of adulthood slaps you around the face with its big schlong and goes, get your act together.
and wipes its dick on the curtain and walks away.
Yeah, exactly. And then I've kind of not touched it like that kind of thing at all since. I still get brought in by microtransactions, but EA won't be one of the people that are getting it. Old school RuneScape though, yep, I pay for that. You best believe it.
Never played RuneScape. I might take a look at that because I am slightly partial to old games at the moment, even though I haven't played anything yet.
There's OSRS or RS3. So if you want the old style graphics, you play the old school. If you want the newer, updated version, play the new school.
What is it? Orthographic, top down, like Baldur's Gate style, like that.
You can adjust the camera as well, but it is point and click. You can't WAS.
Are we going to be talking about like the main issue,
In a sec,
the
bring up a
big
couple,
smelly grey elephant in the room?
let me just bring up a couple of these chats. Mainly from Kuva. Kuva says, in response to me about my rant on Space Marine, yeah, isn't it what I'm saying, Tequila? Classes are viable with the right perks and a lot of work. Yeah, but if all things are equal, the Bulwark's still regarded as the best class. So not only does it start off as the best, it is the best. It ends up the best. So it starts the best and ends up the best. The other ones are viable. You can play as them and enjoy the game. It's not like, but think of it this way, Kuva. I mean, phrase it this way. If the game allowed multiple of the same characters, how many times would you be in a group with 3 Bulwarks?
Every time.
Right then. The game doesn't allow it, so that's why people play other classes probably. But I'm not saying it's every person, but people want to be powerful. I get it. I understand. Of course, we're all going to gravitate. We've all admitted that it's the best character, but that's what I mean by there's a balancing issue, because that shouldn't be the case where there is just a flat out number one. And there is, right from the start, right to the end, he's still number one. To the point where you more or less can't do the hardest content of that. You can't do it if one player is not that character. You can't do it unless you are one of these, like Pete will know the reference, Monster Hunter speedrunner guys who don't take a hit, and the 1% of people who are of that level, the other 99% of people who play the game will need a Bulwark in the squad to be able to probably get through the content. That's all I meant. About the footballing stuff, what do you guys think about this? This is aimed probably not on me. What do you guys think? The best football game is Championship Manager 0102, he says. With player updated databases, 25 years old, and still smashes the hell out of the modern shit.
Yeah,
I haven't played a football manager game because my PC's crap. In like 15 years, so I don't even know. Wasn't the last one, guys? Colm might know. Wasn't the last football manager an absolute train wreck?
Well, they skipped it, didn't they?
No, one did come out, didn't they? They did.
Yeah, but it got released. They brought out FC.
The current one is bollocks, but the previous one is good, according to my brother.
Yeah, they brought out one, and then they had to skip one to bring out the latest one. I can't remember what one it was that they skipped. I don't know whether 26 that they skipped. I'll find out in a minute. But yeah, the AI system on Football Manager, the latest one, is shite. And there's a lot of detail that goes into the games. You can spend hours and hours, but they're not as good, if I'm honest anymore.
Ryan says Football Manager 25. Yeah. So we went from 24 to 26.
Rufus is talking about Warframe, probably for you, Pete. He's saying he didn't spend a penny on it.
Yeah, I was just reading it. Didn't spend a penny. That's why he plays Warframe. Lots of builds and combinations that are viable even at endgame, which is true. And again, you don't have to pay if you learn to trade for the currency, which is pretty simple. It is. Everything just takes 4 times as long as it does, obviously, when you pay, and
time.
That's fine if you have the time to put it in. If it's like, again, casual, but again, like my brain is so like inept at sort of anti-psychology, so I do sort of give in to like microtransactions sometimes. Fuck it, it's only 30 quid. It's only 30 quid.
Okay, so that's what we've been playing. I'll quickly ask if there's any game coming out. I don't think there's going to be any. I don't think there's anything coming out in August. I could be wrong if someone's got an idea. Is there anything coming out in August, a new game that any of us have got any attention? There's nothing for me. Anything coming out in the next month?
Don't know what's coming out till.
It's normally a very weak month for gaming industry. Obviously, once you get to September, October, then that's when the big boys start releasing their stuff. So there's no one's got anything that we're going to be playing in August. So it's just going to be more for me and Com. It'll probably be more Space Marine. I'll be more Assassin's Creed, I guess, if I can get bothered.
Ryan asked us earlier in the chat whether we're going to be talking about GTA 6. We will.
Fuck GTA.
I mean-
whether it's with Colm or not, I don't know. But we will be going through it either before and after, or both. But we'll get there.
We had Ryan. You were here for our last show a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about about the whole physical media and stuff that they're screwing with. We had a massive discussion at the end of that on GTA 6, bud. So I don't know if you were there for that or not, but if you weren't, then go watch that show and listen to all of it really, but especially the last half an hour. We were all trying to convince Colm to buy it. He's a stubborn man. It's Colm.
Not a fucking chance am I going to waste my money on that piece of shit.
See?
No, Colm's hatred for GTA is complete. So yeah, there's no going back. There is another game that is rumored to be coming out at the same time. That's Squadron 42. Still no news on that yet, but we'll see. Who knows?
Pete, are you working for them?
No, it's just like I'm fucking telling you, dude. Because there's no stopping them now. They are going to complete what they set out to do. That's a guarantee. So when they complete it, it's going to be one of the greatest games ever made, hands down. And you're going to love it. You and Colm and Alan are going to fucking be spending all your time in it. I guarantee.
If it comes out around the same time as GTA 6, all the GTA 6 bums can go play that. I will go play Squadron 42. Not a problem.
Well, Squadron 42 is a single player, but yeah, pretty much the same thing.
GTA.
Well, I'm with Colm. I ain't getting GTA 6 on release. I ain't playing at 30 frames per second. Fuck off.
I'm not getting it if they offer me a fucking 75% discount. They can go fuck themselves.
Okay, so we talk about Pete's friends. I say Pete's friend. He probably. I'm the biggest Fallout fan, I think, but I think he's the biggest Bethesda fan. Old school Bethesda fan. I will defend him. I don't think he's a fan of the shit they do today. Old school.
No, I'm a fan of old Elder Scrolls.
So the other day they released a press conference. I'm not going to read it all because it's really long, and I don't think you guys want to hear me badly try to read this because my eyesight's crap. But the big parts were, this is the parts that they've really gone out of their way to stress. Everyone should feel really happy at this first part, right? Everybody, Starfield continues.
Whoa.
Woohoo! Yeah, with the skeleton crew working on it.
They've got some funky numbers. There's, you need to read between the lines a little bit, and data can be manipulated any way you want. With over 17 million players logging almost 1 billion hours to date, that's their claim. That still doesn't mean it's a good game. Not idiots.
No, that's over the period of time that the game's been out. It's not an impressive statistic when you think about it. It's like 90% of people in that statistic would have put it on for half an hour and then turned it off again.
What else have they said here? Right, so the big stuff is the future of Fallout. Right, so what they've announced is Fallout 5 is pre-production, right? So that is still a long way off. So you ain't getting that. If that comes out in the 2020s, I'll be shocked. So that's probably 2030 and above. That's probably 4 or 5 years away, I'd assume. But they talk about Fallout 76. I'm going to ignore that part. Nobody cares about Fallout 76. So the big two things for me anyway, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are being remastered. We've heard the rumors, but they have confirmed that. Also, one more thing they've added as well. There is going to be a sequel to Fallout New Vegas, and that's being made by Obsidian. So they have more or less shred themselves of the Fallout license. Not Fallout 5, that apparently is still being them, I think. But the sequel to Fallout New Vegas is being made by Obsidian. So what do we feel about this? They're going to work alongside Obsidian now to get this sequel that everybody's wanted for many a year, Fallout New Vegas, and then also there's going to be remakes for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. What do we?
Well, I wouldn't expect much at all, mate, given the release of Oblivion Remastered and the state they've left that in. They made 2 updates for it and they just left it. So I wouldn't expect, and it's in a terrible state still. Yes. So no, I wouldn't worry about any of these other remasters. They're going to be just as shit. So
I never played.
I'm telling you.
I didn't play the remaster. I heard horror stories from everybody. Alan, you tried it, didn't you? You tried on the console anyway. I don't know what it's like on the PC. On the console, Alan.
Morrowind. Not Morrowind, sorry, Oblivion. Even it's vanilla. It's such a vanilla game. Skyrim's better.
Is that the game design you're criticizing, which obviously is just because it's an old game, or is it the remaster?
Yeah, it looked okay. It looked okay. It looked pretty, but it's once you've played Skyrim, there's no contest.
Right, so that is that's a little bit of a different kind of argument then, because Pete was talking about the state of the game regarding how it ran.
Oh, I've heard this. I've heard there's problems with it. I heard there's memory leakages and everything. So, but I never really got that far. Apparently, if you played for, was it like an hour, maybe even less, there was like a memory leak.
No, the longer you play, the worse the performance gets because of the unoptimized RAM.
Yeah, I think I played about 20 minutes, I think. And that was it. I got out of the first dungeon with Patrick Stewart, that was it.
That bug was the same in Skyrim, Pete. I could have sworn the bug you just talked about the save files getting too big and the game couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it's an inherent issue in the creation engine. In Skyrim, they couldn't even handle your horse going at full pelt. That's how bad the creation engine is. Like, I just want to touch on the creation engine 3 briefly because they haven't really said much about it. But I think, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I don't think it's going to be any good. But we'll see because they haven't announced anything about it, and that's not good news. So, no, I'm not looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6.
Well, that is their next game according to their post here. So you're not interested at all. What about you, Com? I don't know where you stand on, because this is mainly about the Fallout franchise. I mean, Pete talks about Elder Scrolls, but the Fallout franchise, were you ever into any of them? Do you care? I mean, I loved Fallout 3. It's one of my favorite games. So
yeah, I've played Fallout. I played Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 76. Yeah. I bought Fallout 76, so I was that invested in the Fallout games on release day.
Wow.
Yeah.
How disappointed were you?
I was completely devastated. And I still am, because it's still a heaping pile of garbage. No matter what they've done, the game is still...
Graphics are awful, dude.
Yeah. You can play it now, but I think the damage has already been done. If that makes sense.
No, they screwed with the law, Com. That for me is
Can I just give everyone a brief fucking overview of what's happened recently? Okay, so with Microsoft announcing the huge job cut and them dumping tons of companies and all that kind of thing, everyone was obviously up in the air about what's happening to their favorite company. So, I mean, I always keep an eye on Bethesda, but I wouldn't say it's a favorite company. In response to that, Bethesda were obviously told to come out with a statement about what they were doing just to ensure and appease the players that Bethesda wasn't one of the companies that Microsoft dropped. So they made this fucking bullshit little announcement. Oh yeah, we're doing this, this, and this. And it's like, right, well, you've just confirmed everything that we thought anyway. So it was pretty much a pointless fucking statement anyway. They haven't really said anything we don't know. And yeah, it's just this new creation engine it's not looking promising. The next Elder Scrolls isn't looking promising, and none of their future titles are looking promising based on what they've brought out already. So that's why I'm not looking forward to any Bethesda games. Obviously, when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, I'm going to take a look, and if it is good, I'll buy it. But I'm not holding out anything. So that's the overview of it.
Yeah, and I mean, just to go back, I don't want them to touch New Vegas. Leave it as it is, please. Don't remaster it. Just leave it, because it can be a buggy mess, but that's part of what it is. It's a fantastic game. Just leave it alone. Don't touch it, please.
Don't you guys have hope though for the sequel? Yeah, but that's not Bethesda. The sequel to that isn't Bethesda.
Yeah, but Obsidian aren't brilliant either, are they? Come on.
Yeah, but they made the first one, and even though you might not like the Outer Wilds and stuff like that, you can't say they've fallen from grace anywhere near like Bethesda has. I'm not saying they're the best ever, but
No, but they were only ever.
their only attempt to do a Fallout game, they smashed it out the park.
Yeah, but they were only ever slightly better. But New Vegas was only ever slightly better than 3.
It was a buggy
Or
mess.
on par. Yeah, it's just as equally a buggy mess, like soup. But I mean, like, yeah, people prefer that more, don't they?
No, I prefer number 3 more, but it's just like you can criticize Bethesda, and I'm not bloody defending them. All these criticisms are valid, but this isn't them. So this is why I'm treating it a bit differently. The remasters, if the remasters are being done by them, then yeah, we should all be scared, just like we were for Oblivion. But if they're left alone, and that remains to be seen, if they're left alone to make the sequel to New Vegas like they were, the thing, guys, is about when New Vegas, right? Colm might know this. Do you know they did that in a year? They were rushed.
Yeah,
they were rushed.
Well,
that's why
it looks it. Well,
yeah, but the game design was really good. The game itself is really good, but the condition it released in because they didn't have enough time to QA it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
I can't be as harsh on them, even though I'm not a particular fan of the Outer Wilds and stuff like that. It's Outer Worlds, whatever game it is, Outer Worlds, I think it's called. The tone of those games didn't appeal to me. But I'm just saying I can't label them with the same brush I would Bethesda, because the one time they made a Fallout game, it's arguably, to a lot of people, as you just said, Pete, it's regarded as the best one. It's not my best, but it is regarded universally as the best Fallout. At least since it went to 3D, anyway. Some people might like.
I never liked New Vegas. I always preferred 3. I think 3 was my favorite. 4 was just a blast for me. You know, they fucked it big time.
So all I'm saying is that it wouldn't be probably fair to exactly paint them with exactly the same brush. There's a good chance it might end up being a buggy mess again. They might not. They might get rushed again. We don't know. Bethesda obviously are their masters, right? But we don't know how much say Bethesda are going to have. Are they going to give them free reign on it? Maybe. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be watching over them like a father will be and telling them what they can and can't do. If so, then the Bethesda influence will have a massive impact. But if they're left alone to do their own thing, then maybe there's hope for a proper New Vegas sequel. So I'm not... That one I'm going to keep my eye on. The other ones, I agree with all you guys. The chances are that the remakes are going to be like Oblivion. So
yeah. They're not going to be good. Don't expect anything from them, guys. Honestly.
Anyone else have any news they want to talk about that's appeared? I mean, we all heard about we were speaking before we came online about the comedic timing of the PlayStation network going down for a significant amount of time, nobody could play their digital games, which is quite funny considering only a couple of weeks ago, as we found out, they're not making any more discs come 2028. So if that happens in a couple of years' time from now, you're going to be sitting on your hands. I say you're all because I'm a stupid Xbox player, so I won't have to worry about it, I guess, unless Xbox does the same thing, which they probably will. But anyone?
Of course they fucking will, dude. Of course they're going to. They tried to do it first, and PlayStation literally jumped on the bandwagon. And we're not doing it. Fucking scumbags. Both of them are. So yeah, no, I don't give a shit about Sony. The only thing Sony's ever done that was good were TVs and stereos. Fuck everything else.
Arling or Colm, anything else you guys want to talk about? Is there anything in the chat from you guys in the chat? If there's a topic you wanted to quickly discuss, let us know before we head off. If there's something you've seen in the news that maybe one of us has missed, I can't see anything particular. There is a story about apparently Sony are claiming that their 7 most bought games, physical games, only sold 100,000 copies, and that's their justification for their decision. Is that basically in their mind that even their most popular games, only 100,000 physical copies are being sold. So that's their reasoning why they're ditching it all. That's something I've heard.
Yeah, they're manipulating the data. They're not including everything, obviously. They're not including secondhand sales. They're just including first 10 ones. They're definitely manipulating the data for their own ends, but the public don't want it, and they're sort of like, well, this is the next era and you better fucking accept it. And it's like, well, what about everyone? First of all, what about everyone who doesn't have an internet connection, who doesn't want an internet connection, but still wants to play games? They're fucked, are they? So you're just going to just blank them out on the market? Fuck them. You have to get connected if you want to play our games. Really? Like, what kind of age are we living in now where people are being shut out from sticking with tradition? People, if I want to continue playing a certain game and everything moves on and the support for that stops, like, that's another thing. Stop killing games, right? Then well, it's just like, well, what's the point? Going back to the argument we had in the previous episode, if buying isn't owning, pirating isn't stealing.
But what if I say to you, Pete, you need to just get with the times? Virtually most people, at least in the modern world, have at least a okay internet connection, including myself, which is only barely okay. But most people do have access to some form of broadband. So that's what their argument. That's what their argument is going to be. It's kind of like, okay, so what percentage of people are you really talking about? Not in the third world, but in what percentage of people do you think have zero access to internet?
I'm not sure, and I don't think it's relevant, because you need to always have an offline option. If I buy a game that's single player and designed to be played on your own, why the fuck do I need an internet connection? So it's like, no, I don't want to go on a run, because, like,
what about patching of games, for example? How would you do it then?
Well, a dedicated server. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
How would they get the patches?
No. Okay, here we go. Instead of fucking updating the game every month, how about you release the fucking game in a complete state in the fucking first place? Before you release it, make sure everything works. Surely that should be a fucking standard in the 21st fucking century. It's 2026. We've had games for about, 40 years? So, what the fuck? We still don't have a system where, when a game is released, it's at the best state that it can be. Like, no, let's just release the fucking game in such a shit state so that we can get the money and then sort of fix it afterwards. Like Bethesda started that fucking trend, I'm sure of it. Yeah, I hate it. I hate the gaming industry as it is right now. This is why I'm not really playing anything, because I'm working on other shit. And I just don't want to spend any time, because right now I feel like I'm wasting time playing games. Like, because I'm looking forward to GTA 6. I'm looking forward to Squadron 42. I'm looking forward to, I don't know, anything beyond that. Anyway, that's my take.
Well, I don't want to be accused of prodding the bear. But
Shit.
Poke.
Look, I think we've all said that you're right. Back in my day, you're right. With cartridges, CDs. I remember XCOM Terror from the Deep on PlayStation. This is 1994, way before any internet, right? That game had a fundamental flaw on it, and the flaw was, if you researched something in the wrong order, you were locked out of the game. That made it to release, and I experienced that game, like 13 or 14-year-old me, whatever it was. I experienced that, and I was devastated, right? And that game, even now, if I were to play it with the disc, which I still own, I still got the bloody PlayStation 1 disc, right? I can never complete that game. So even back in those days, there were these bugs. Not as often, because the games were nowhere near as complex. So the complexity, there was less things that could go wrong. but they did release with issues, and it was impossible to ever fix them. XCOM Terror from the Deep, if anyone has ever bought it on PlayStation 1, if you're unlucky, and it is as simple as that, if you're just unlucky with what you research in certain orders, and this is way before the internet, before anyone understood what was going on. People know now what the order is, but back then there's no internet to know what was causing it. We now know. There was also a bug on the first XCOM. If you chose a superhuman difficulty, which was the hardest difficulty, you were actually playing on the easiest difficulty. Nobody realised.
Yeah.
These games were finished games that came out, but because there was no internet and no way to patch it, these games have remained kind of broken.
Well, there needs to be a difference. I don't have all the answers. What I want to say is that the way things are right now is disgusting and greedy and lazy, and I feel like with every game release, it should be released in the best state it could possibly be, and then the developers go, well, there's some things that we wanted to sort of do. We call it complete, but there are some additional things we wanted to do. So give us some time and we'll implement it. But release the game in a fucking workable state. Okay, if you don't catch a bug, fine. Like have a different method of delivery. I don't have the answer for that, but like, if you've bought the game, what's wrong with sending someone like some sort of data disk, which they can, I don't know. But like, what I'm saying is that no one wants to fucking work this out because everyone's lazy. They want to just go for a straight shortcut to the most amount of cash as possible. They're not willing to go from A to B in a curve. They just want to go in a straight fucking line and fuck everyone else. I hate business as it is right now. I hate it. It's all geared towards maximizing their profit margins and not buffering and not nerfing their profit margins to keep the customer happy. So, right over, I'm done. Sorry.
Let me check a couple of these chats and then and we can head off unless there's anything else.
I've just got one more thing to mention, and then.
Okay, let me read out these chats and then the floor's yours, Colm. Big up to Dermo who's joined us. He says, is it due to updating your Xbox or PlayStation? Big up, by the way. Is it due to updating? Somebody's got an ice cream van.
Yeah,
99 float.
99 float. Yeah.
90 float.
There's always a permanent ice cream van outside my flat, by the way.
Cornetto. Games have moved on. If the time not perfect, but if the time we are in. Okay, Kuva says there's an ever-growing. I'll bring it up. There you go. There's an ever-growing market for retro consoles and computers, complete with old CRT monitors and TVs to play them on. I know a couple of people who don't even go online and still enjoy gaming 80s style. Can you imagine playing on a CRT TV nowadays?
My brother-in-law, or ex-brother-in-law, even though we still consider him brother-in-law, he loves arcade games. He has a CRT monitor. He has all of that. He has a setup, retro setup. He loves it.
Rufus adds here, we're so far out that even single-player games need an internet connection to access. And to top it off, they are trying to put ads into it too. Well, that's
ads everywhere, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I've told the guys. I know Alan had this as well. I've told the guys about me losing my shit when I turned on my Xbox one day and I was Call of Duty advertisement that I could not avoid.
It was full screen, wasn't it? It was like a splash page.
Yeah, mate. It's like when you power on the console, right? I mean, you've owned an Xbox.
Yeah.
You power on the Xbox, then it does a big X, right? And then it just went to the advert.
Wow.
Full screen.
I never got that, by the way.
Well, they've targeted me then. They must think I'm a big Call of Duty fan. They're wrong.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Dookie cheers.
There's no ifs or buts. It's greed and laziness. Yeah. And Ryan says, at least GTA is always finished. Even then, there's still a few bugs. Rockstar, their stuff is in normally decent shape, but that's the reason, as it should be. You know how much money they've got. If they can't do it right, then what hope is there for the rest of them?
Yeah, there's always like maybe one or two, but it's like 95% bug free. Like for most casual players, they're not going to ever come across a bug. I don't think I've ever come across a bug playing GTA.
And this one's probably aimed at Alan, who was the gentleman who played the Bond game. What do you think of this, Al?
Did you realize that the new Bond game you played had advertisement? Yeah, it did.
The Bond movies do. That's kind of tradition, isn't it?
Yeah, there's always product placement in a Bond, whatever. Not really a Bond film, but in the case of a Bond game, yeah.
What was it in the game then?
I can't remember actually.
Audi or something like a car.
Yeah, it's probably something like that.
There would have been like a drink or something, some sort of liquor in there as well, probably. And a watch, wasn't there? Like a watch? They usually do watches and shit, don't they?
Yeah, I think it was been a Rolex or something.
Yeah,
Gotta be a nice
that comes with the tradition of the show type.
Yeah, product placement is always the key, because obviously Bond was owned by it was Sony, I think, for a while. Sony, yeah, I think Sony had because obviously in the latest film, the Daniel Craig series, there's always like a Sony product in there, whether it be a laptop or a phone or something like that. It's always in there, and they have deals with regular drinks makers and stuff. So
but they've had sponsorships come and go in the past, like Nokia and stuff. So like, it's a tradition,
Yes, tradition.
But like, which will allow because of said tradition. But like when other companies do it, it's like nah.
So Microsoft trying to shove Call of Duty down your throat, they can go fuck themselves.
Colm, you had something you wanted to talk about. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, it's just very, very quickly. I would just like to say well done to Sony's Santa Monica studio for realizing their colossal fuck up and very quickly announcing that the next game of God of War will have Kratos returning and Luffy, or whatever her name is, will not be in the next game.
What?
Wait.
Hang on. Wait.
They're still making it, though. The girl.
You up?
They're still making the game we saw.
Yeah.
They're still making that one.
Yeah, they're still making that game, but they already started work on the next God of War game, and Kratos is returning. And it's a continuation of this game, but you will not be playing as her. You'll be playing as Kratos, because they realized that nobody wanted to play as Faye, I think her name is.
Well, who is she anyway?
It's Kratos' wife.
I thought so. So no one wanted. I don't see what the problem was. I thought that was quite a good idea. No one wants to do that, do they?
No, nobody's interested.
I'm with you, Pete. I don't see what the big problem is.
I don't understand. I thought that was a good idea, but no. All right, fair enough.
No. People aren't interested. They want to play God of War to play as Kratos, apparently.
You've had 3 or 4 of them by now, for crying out loud, and the rest. Jesus, man, go back.
It's the same argument with anything, Bonds. Let's take Bonds as an example. Everyone's been crying out for, I want a Bond of ethnicity. I want a female Bond. You can't just play around with things. You can't play around with things, and because this is the thing you're going to get. You're going to get shit on. As soon as you say, I want this character in there instead of that one because that one's a staple of the series, but I want something else. No, the majority will go against you.
But can
I just say for the record, sorry, just quickly, can I just say for the record as well, like they've announced who's playing Poirot. There's a new Poirot, if for anyone who doesn't know, because David Suchet filmed I know this is completely unrelated, but David Suchet filmed all the Poirot stories, right? And they're an absolute masterpiece, every single one of them. But now, they've decided that they're going to do a new Poirot series, and the new Poirot guy is like this fucking 20-something-year-old hunk. So and as Rufus just said now, Black State. Like, I've had enough, mate. I've really had enough of this fucking bullshit.
You mess with tried and tested characters. I mean, in the example of Snape, I've never read the Harry Potter book, but I know for a fact that he is described in that book.
As milky white, like an emo.
Yeah, exactly. So at what point did they think casting that character in that vein was acceptable?
For diversity and equality, Alan.
Yay.
Shoehorning it in where it doesn't need to be.
It's not the first time. Think about it.
No.
It's not the first time. If you've watched the Resident Evil TV series,
God.
The TV series.
yeah,
No, I'm good. I know what that is. I'm good.
Talking of Resident Evil, the new trailer looked really good, by the way. The new movie trailer.
I was looking at this not long ago. Apparently, the director's actually under a lot of fire for it.
Why?
Because they're saying it's Resident Evil in name, but where's the reference to the actual game itself?
What are they talking about? Have they counted the references in that trailer yet?
Don't know.
Well, because like there's a reference in pretty much every fucking shot. Like if you're a proper Resident Evil fan, you're going to notice shit in every single shot.
Is it the second trailer then?
I've only seen one, which I assume is the first one.
I saw the first trailer. I saw that in the cinema. I can't remember what I've seen now, but yeah, I saw the trailer to that. And I was thinking, okay, it's.
No, it does look really. It's from.
It's the fact that it comes up Resident Evil at the end. I'm thinking, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's like it's told from the point of view of an NPC or something during Resident Evil 2. Like it's being made by a super fan, so I'm pretty confident that it's going to be good. Also, 2099 looked fucking amazing as well.
Colm, I was going to say, what was the blowback for? I think I already know the answer, but I just want to make sure that that I am on the right track here. The blowback for why they rejected that trailer that we all saw, that we all thought looked pretty good. I thought, is it because? How can I phrase it? If it was a guy who wasn't Kratos, but it was a man, would the blowback have been there? Is it because it's not Kratos, or is it because it's a woman?
no, the main issues. I mean, some people do have issues like they're not playing as Kratos. I think that's one of the biggest issues. But I think some of the other issues are the talking sword and slime. That doesn't seem to be going down with people.
The tone was a bit weird. I remember us thinking that when we watched it, Colm.
Yeah,
that we thought that they thought the tone was a bit off with those characters. I'm trying to understand. Like, so if it's just for a woman, I don't get it. I don't like that because that's other politics now getting involved, saying, oh, because she's a woman, then we don't want her. I could give two shits because this is meant to be a fantasy world. I don't want to bring real life politics. I could give two shits. It's meant to be a fantasy.
No, it's not because she's a woman. It's just because. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's because they just wanted to play. They wanted a power fantasy. They don't want to be playing.
Why can't you have a power fantasy with a woman as a woman character?
Because they don't want that. Majority of people don't want that. Which is fair enough. Like, give the people what they want, right?
Yeah, it's a common thing, even with the film industry. When you take something like Marvel, you had this great series of films leading from Iron Man straight up to Endgame, and the minute they put in a woman-led film, it bombed.
Yeah. They don't seem to understand that the public want male testosterone style movies because for females it works because they're males, right? And they've got muscles. For men it works because it's a power fantasy, it's an action thing. They're sitting there thinking, I'll fantasize I'm in this guy, right? I wish I was him. All that kind of bollocks. They always prefer females as like sidekicks or the love interest. People like their story formulas. You can't just fucking change it because of like the current equality feelings or like current political climate. Just can't do it. Stop compromising like the creative mind. Stop like putting boundaries on the creative mind. You just stop doing it.
Yeah, but this isn't like he's being. If Kratos was being replaced, as in like, okay, we're killing him off, and then she's taken over, I might understand a little bit, but it's one game. They're not saying Kratos is, and even as Colm said, they've confirmed that he is coming back. Whether or not that was due to peer pressure or not, I don't know. Pressure, but I don't know. But whoever said that Kratos' story was over, just what because this feels like a little bit like a kind of a side story, which is fine. It's almost like it's a spin-off. It's not continuing it's more of a spin-off around his wife. That
No,
doesn't
it
mean
will
that Kratos can't have more games. When was that ever?
No, it's never been that, but it will be it won't be a spin-off as such for when, because like I said, the next game that they're doing is going to be a continuation of her story, but you're playing as Kratos instead. So it's a continuation of this game that they bring out or brought out or whatever. I don't know when it's out, but you'll be playing as Kratos in the next version.
So this game with the female, is this before she died?
No, it's after.
Or is this
After.
It shows her. It shows them burying her or doing the burial rites, whatever it is, at the start of the.
right? So that she's not dead, and that was what they were trying to tell everyone. You thought she was dead. She's not dead.
Well,
I thought that was a good idea.
Well, I think she's kind of meant to be in kind of like probably she's going to end up being somewhere like limbo. Or that's probably what it's going to be about. She's going to be like stuck in limbo, like in that TV show Lost or whatever it was, like that.
Anyway, look, right. There's a long history of tortured artists wanting to show the world their work, and they're disappointed when people don't like it, because the way the world really works is that people just want power fantasies or something to masturbate over later. That's all it is, mate. Like if people want to read a good story, they'll probably read a book or watch a film. And so, like, you know, the point is, stop trying to fucking shoehorn political fucking bullshit into art, because it never works, and it never will work ever.
Yeah, I'm not on board with this one. I think I honestly don't see the problem. I don't see why.
Unless you make it allegorical. If you make a piece of work, like I like to make works that are heavily allegorical because I love it. Always putting symbolisms in. That's the best way to do it. If you want to teach someone something, don't just like change a fucking like a white hobbit to Lenny Henry. It doesn't make sense.
Her story obviously was I haven't played the other Gears of War, so I have to go on that. But I'm assuming that she was always mentioned. It's not like she's been shoehorned into the story, right? She was obviously always his wife, and obviously I don't know how she died. You know, I probably won't even play it because I'd have to go. I'd have to play all of them probably to understand the whole thing. So I wouldn't even be playing this game. I'm just a little bit surprised, and I'm fearful that the whole gender wars, and we know what that is now. Well, we already know it's already in game, but it's now to the point where is it going to get to the point where we just can't have any female main characters in games now, because there's always going to be a certain percentage of people.
No. It's what you have to understand, the target market that you're doing the project for. If you're making a God of War game, like Rufus said, God of War is Kratos. People have gotten used to the fact that you're playing a muscly god who wants to destroy things. Awesome, right? You've identified a clear, specific set of boundaries for that thing. Good. What they should have done is have a God of War game with a side story of the wife in it. And it's completely separate, sort of like a mini campaign, like a DLC.
Like a DLC expansion, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. They would have accepted that. Like, but, you know, like with Lara Croft games, that's got a female lead. People know the identity of it. I think that the upset is that they, without even telling everyone, they just announced it like a complete sort of character lead change, and that's what the problem is. So
I think they should just change the title of it. They should just call it Laufey, a God of War story.
But if you're a fan of this world, this God of War world, right, and you've played the other games, and you know that his wife was obviously a massive important part of his story, wouldn't you want to find out more about her? Wouldn't you be interested to find out more about her and her story and stuff like that? If you're not a fan of the world, of the whole world.
Well, if you would, you would probably want to do it in a different way, like with supplemental material, like how Star Wars have books, stuff. Like, I don't know. But don't change the format of the franchise on the fly. That's just like, I agree it was a good idea. Like, I thought that was okay, that was all right, but people don't want it, so it's fine.
I I suppose it depends on what you're looking for. Like if it is just about playing as a big butch dude, which I know a lot of people want to do, then that's fine. But I mean, if it's about
Sometimes it's just
but what if her
sometimes it's
what if
just
her
as
story's
simple
really
as
good?
that.
What if her story is really good and that it's already been rejected, even though it might be a good idea? It's been rejected, as you've just said. They've already pivoted. They've already said, "Don't worry, everyone." I mean, that game's more or less. They might as well not bother. Really, now they might as well not bother. I mean, who knows how far into production they are? But we've seen films cancelled at the last minute. The Batwoman, is that it, Alan? Was it the Batgirl film they cancelled and it was already made? So we've seen it happen before. Then why bring out this game then? The backlash is so that the people have already said. So this game could end up being an amazing game that will now not be given a fair chance, no matter what. And even if it ends up being good, it's not going to sell, is it? Because the backlash is we don't want it already. They've already decided.
Hoover makes a good point. He makes a good point when he says even more outrageous for me was the way they made Lawfay a run-down middle-aged version of a very beautiful actress, and then partner her with a cube of fucking jelly as a companion. Why? Yeah, I now that you mention that, I mean, I don't know, as Tequila said, I don't know the story of God of War, but I would have assumed that he would have married someone more attractive than that. Now I come to think of it, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's what it is, and they made a mistake, and now they're sort of thinking, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
So, what?
Pete, don't you think that I'm arguing against? I mean, me and you covered. We did that review of Dragon Age Vanguard, right? We made our opinions perfectly clear. Bit controversial, but we did. So I'm not saying this woke stuff isn't everywhere. I'm not denying that at all. I'm just saying, is it going to get to the point where there can't be female leads in that, or if there is, or if you're a developer and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I've got a really good idea for a game. It really should have a female lead, but that might be too risky to put a female lead in, so I'll make it a bloke even if the story doesn't fit." Are we going to get to that point? Lara Croft might be different because
no.
30 years ago, whenever the game came out.
No, we won't. No, of course we won't get to that point because we're not that stupid. Like, we'll look at something and go, "No, that's shit." And like the amount of games that get presented to various corporations or whatever, or ideas even, that get rejected, it's like 100 to 1 or 1,000 to 1. So like there's so many ideas that all of these budding potential creative artists approach people with, and they just have their hopes dashed because of it's not good. Like, and it all comes down to self-objectivism. If you can't be self-objective, then you're not going to be able to produce any decent work whatsoever. So you've got to be your own critic. So to get to the point where you think something might be a good idea, and I do think that the God of War female thing was a good idea, but I just feel like it was implemented wrong. They either advertised it wrong, or they should have just added it as a DLC to an existing game or an upcoming one. They experimented, that's all, and it didn't go well. So whatever.
They speak a little bit about things. They're estimating the game to sell 6 million copies of it, and if you look at how much Ragnarok sold, that sold over 15 million copies, and it sold 5.1 million in the first week.
I don't think it was very good though. I thought 4, what is that, the one before it? The first sort of like new one of the generation, basically. I think it's 4.
Yeah,
that was great. That was a brilliant game.
Yeah,
but the next one was rubbish, dude.
Like you said, the issue isn't the fact that it's a girl or anything like that. That isn't the issue. The issue is there's a bunch of men out there that want to get hard for Kratos. That's the issue.
Yeah, they want to peg him or be pegged by him, whatever. But that's how people's mind works. They spend all day slogging away for 8-10 hours at something. They get home and they don't want to fucking think. They just want to fucking switch on a game that they can just mindlessly punch things with. Mm-hmm. Some people prefer God of War. Other people prefer WWE, Elena, like yourself. So, whatever. And these companies need to realize that there's a place and a time and a format for heavily involved stories, right? Try to make it a game, that's fine, but be expected for it not to succeed. And don't be disappointed if it does. And so,
yeah, exactly.
Right? That's all. just, suck it up, Buttercup. You made a wrong move. Try something else. If you think it's good, just enjoy it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. The way people are acting, or the way people acted when Devil May Cry changed, when they brought back a younger Dante with the gritty edge of an emo.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same kind of thing that this is getting.
Mm-hmm. I do agree. They shouldn't have changed Dante. Dante was better as an old sort of guy with white hair. But
yeah,
that's just me.
I mean, Kuva, this is kind of what I'm hoping that's not what it is. What he's put there.
Pardon.
Okay, so because I
just follows the current trend, deleting male characters from games and movies, and nobody can use the word masculism without unzipping their fly or prefacing it as toxic and vilify it.
It's just the new generation, Hoover. They're just trying to fucking push a bullshit agenda because they have some few radical ideas.
I just don't want it to get to the point where every bloody game has got some jacked up dude like in Gears of War. Because Gears of War, I enjoy the game, but the stories get rubbish. And Space Marine's not much better, and they're all jacked up dudes. There's not a woman to be seen, and I think there's one woman character in Gears. There was one.
See, what disappoints me about 40k games is that the lore of 40k is so rich and harsh, right? It's so it's absolutely fucking brilliant. I've only recently discovered how beautiful the lore of 40k is. But every time I look at any of the games, they just seem like watered down, right? They're just like heavily nerfed versions of what they really should be.
The gaming landscape will be very boring if it gets to the point where there's going to be a massive projection of female characters as mains. It will get really boring because every and maybe you're right, Pete. Maybe Ella, if 95% of gamers want just to be jacked up dudes, then that is where the industry will go, because that makes the money. If there's only 5% who doesn't particularly give a shit and just cares if the character's any good, right? Because I didn't give a shit if she was a woman. Could give two shits. Is she a good character? Now, Kiefer makes some good points. He's arguing about if the character any good, and he's arguing, rightfully said, as Com said earlier, that the sidekicks were annoying because they were annoying. That is criticisms I can understand 100%.
Yeah.
Shit characters are shit characters, no matter if they're a block or jelly or whatever they are bloody meant to be. It was like a cube or some silly cube, and it wasn't. I remember me and Com when we watched it, we said, "What the hell's that?"
Yeah. I now that I think about it, I remember doing that as well.
Yeah. I'm just a little bit apprehensive because some of the favorite games I've played has had female characters. I don't want all my games to be just these jacked up dudes, because they most of the time they bore the hell out of me. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of the time they're just boring. These
No. It's not going to happen, dude. This sort of shit has repeated in a loop for fucking centuries, right? In one way or another, in terms of business, because a business will work out what a member of the public wants, and then they'll give it to them, and then they'll start getting fancy and start thinking of creative ways to make more money and being greedy, and they go too far, it doesn't work, so they try to claw back, and it's just like a repetitive fucking process. We're at a point right now where games companies are heavily experimenting and introducing things that we don't have control over. And at some point, and it's probably already started, that we're kicking back and going, no, we don't want any of this fucking bullshit. And slowly and surely, these games companies are going to catch on, because how many times have people released a woke movie and it's failed? And similar with games as well. It's like everyone's fucking learning. Everyone's like, oh shit, equality is bollocks, isn't it? It's like, yes. Do you know the amount of transvestites that are in this country? Percentage-wise, do you actually know what the statistic is right now? And it's when I last checked it, by the way, I don't know whether it's different. 0.1% of the UK is transgender. So look at that statistic and go, well, is that the majority of the market? No. So why are you making everything woke? It's fine, mate. Everything will go back to the way it was. It'll go back to 80s style stuff, because now everyone's craving the 80s and the 70s. Everyone wants to go back. They don't like this modern age. We're fine, mate. Don't worry about it.
Well, as long as they still making games with good female, I'm not even going to say strong female, because a good female character doesn't have to be a strong female character. They can easily be vulnerable. Good female
No,
character.
it just has to be written right. That's all. Why was Ripley a good character? Why was fucking, I don't know, who else is there? There's fucking loads. Because he was written right.
But in games, there isn't that many. I'm not saying there's zero, but there isn't that many. I mean, we've used Lara Croft, and a lot of women can't stand Lara Croft because they see the big boobs and they think, well, that's the reason. All the dudes, that's the reason.
Well, that's an ongoing traditional cliche that people like. Do you really think someone plays Dead or Alive just for
not that.
Like, seriously?
Why are you using that example, Pete? That's like the worst.
Because it's the most extreme example that I could think of on the fly. All right.
That game is full of rich history and a dedicated storyline.
Each disc is heavily splattered with dried semen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're nearly at 2 hours now, so I guess we'll leave it there. Unless anyone got a lot that word in. Anyone got anything else, or do we get out of here? Because the female thing, I think that could go on. That's a rabbit hole, and we've already gone into it a little bit. That affects every aspect of entertainment that is coming into it, and we all know it. And
Pardon.
see, anything else about gaming? I suppose that anyone wants to say, or have we covered everything you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, it's fine. I think we could go on. I could quite happily go on, but I think we're at 2 hours. It's fine. But yeah, there are lots of other things to discuss, really, with the games industry, and I think it was Ruthless or someone who mentioned earlier that the gaming industry is falling right now. It's actually, I think, because a lot of analysts are saying that we're facing another games crash, like the one we had in what was it, early 90s or something. That we are approaching another one, I think, because
I could add a little topic, a short topic, like very short. It can even be just a one word answer. Even is gaming becoming too expensive a hobby? Is it because most of us, I think we're all, let's be honest, I think we're all kind of working class. Com's a bit richer than us, aren't you, Com? But we're all mainly working class. You wishes. So is it getting to that point now where it's becoming too expensive a hobby? Are people? I mean,
no.
You don't think the new console is around each?
No, you have to factor everything in, because just take your average person, right? He works full time. He makes on average, if it's a decent job, 30-40 grand a year. Maybe he's got a wife and a kid. So he's going to have a few quid spare at the end of a month, isn't he? He's going to have a few hundred spare. If he's a decent, decent person, whatever. So he's obviously not going to have much time in the evening. Might not even get 2 days off in a row. What I'm saying is he's not going to be playing games often, but he's going to be playing it whenever he has any spare time. So the amount of hours that he's going to spend playing a game, and the amount of time it's going to take him to complete a game is going to be a lot longer than dedicated gamers, obviously. So because of that time bracket, he doesn't mind spending 50 to 100 quid on a game, or at this point now coming up, $1,000 and over for a games console. So no, I don't think so.
But that's adults. If we can all go back to when we were 14 or 15, right? None of us, maybe unless our parents got it for us for a birthday or Christmas present, which of course is going to be less likely now because of the increased costs. How can any kid afford to? You'd have to, Game Pass would be your only option, because you wouldn't be able to afford to buy a brand new console, which I think the lesser model, Series S, is $350. Roundabout the weakest console on the market, other than the Nintendo systems. So that hobby, how does a kid who's at school pay for that hobby?
Well, first of all, is he old enough to be playing the game he wants to play? Second of all, suck it up, buttercup, and start saving. People need to have things to look forward to. You can't have, like, every stage of your life, you can't have, I want this, okay, here it is. There has to be some kind of thing to look forward to in life. And I think what's happening with the latest generations is that it's just not happening. It's like, I want this, okay, here it is. It's like, no. People need to fucking, like, be patient and wait for things and start saving up and plan and be better people and learn how to control money and stuff. Not to be all fucking feral. Oh, I want this. Okay, here it is. I want it to be cheap enough. Well, no. That's how much it costs. You got to fucking. You know.
I think so.
Well,
I mean, I think there's some merits. I think you're right, Pete, when it comes to maybe money adults. I think that's probably fair enough, right? You can budget a little bit as an adult. I do think, if you've got a single parent where there's a lot of, right, and she's working a job, I mean, she's probably not going to be able to afford to get her kid probably a console. And even if she did, where does the money for the games and everything come from? I mean, we're talking, they're getting rigid. And this also adds into the factors, we're heading into a future in 2028 where the kid can't even buy a game secondhand from CEX or from eBay and then finish it and then try and sell it on. We're at the point now where it's going to be full money for every single game again. So this is why I'm thinking to myself, okay, adults might be able to find a way to make it happen. But if you're like below 16, right, and you can't get a proper job because you're obviously too young, you can only get very, very basic things that probably won't cover it. How do you get into gaming if you're a kid?
Pirate it. Who gives a shit? Just pirate it. No one cares anymore. You're not going to get fucking prosecuted for it.
So that's your answer. You want every kid to pirate games on their PC, assuming they can even afford a.
If they really want to fucking play it and they don't want to wait, they'll find a fucking way to get it. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you've got a parent that doesn't,
PC.
I don't know. They've got to save up for it. Don't expect, as a kid, you shouldn't expect things to be handed out to you. That's not how it works.
No, not as an adult.
Honestly.
You're a kid.
Yeah, but like up until 10, everything should be right, as you said. But after that, it's like, no, mate, you want stuff, you've got to fucking, like, you've got to work for it. You've got to learn how to fucking, manage money and all that kind of thing. That's the point of growing up. It's not just to be handed things whenever you want it. Your brain isn't fully booted up until you're at like mid-20s at the earliest anyway. So I don't know what the fuck all these fuckers think that they're doing at this early age, making decisions. Oh, mate, you've opened up a whole fucking.
Well, I just think that I'm putting myself in the position of the money I had growing up, right? That's the only experience I can go for is my own, right? And there's no way that my mum, who was a single parent who was disabled, could afford to even remotely entertain the idea of even a 550 console, let alone a bloody 1,200, right? And then a digital game, which could be 60, 70, 80 pounds. I'd be lucky to get one game a year if I can even somehow get the console.
But then it becomes something completely different to you. It becomes this magnificent prize. Like, if I work hard for it, I'll get it. Like, you see what I'm saying?
No.
If you get everything that you want all the time, what happens? What happened to the man who got everything he wanted?
It's not about getting everything you want. It's not like somebody says, "Oh yeah, I want to get every single game." No, I'm not saying you go and you buy 30 games a year. No, but you'd get to the point you'd be lucky if you can get one.
Well, that's just the way it is. I'm not supporting either argument. I'm just sort of like saying how it is.
Well, that's why I'm just.
And how people should be bringing up their children. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm just looking at it just from the numbers. Like, if the game industry is getting to that crunch period now, where it is becoming. I'm not saying it's a hobby for middle class. It's not there yet, and it may never get to that degree because there are working class people who will still be able to afford it. They'll have to save, like you said, but they will be able to afford it. I'm just thinking of the really, really poor people, right? The people who struggle even to hold down a job. And maybe that is none of us, all right? I don't know. My experiences of my family obviously could maybe be different. I don't know. I'm just saying that if I was born today with my family as it was, I could probably not partake in gaming, especially when the used market's all gone. It would just be a non-factor. It wouldn't be
You'd
possible.
find a way. You'd find a way.
Magic, money would just grow out of trees, would it?
No, but you'd find a way. There's always a way. It's like how a drug addict always finds his next fix. There's always a way. Anyway, I think we're rambling on, and we should probably end. Because I think Nick and Colm have gone to sleep. So let's wrap it up. I mean, like, it's a fascinating discussion. I'd love to continue it. Maybe we should have, like, I don't know, a weekly session. But I'm not always on top form, so like, I can't always guarantee any of that. But no, it's a beautiful discussion. I do like talking philosophically. But anyway, This is a games show.
Yes. So that is it. You've had 2 hours of this lovely gents talking about a lot of topics, mostly gaming, a bit more sometimes, added in there for some sugar and spice. But yes, I want to thank you to not my guests, but the whole team. We're all here. We will be back most likely the end of August with this show again about what we've played, which I get the feeling based upon what we've said might be similar games because we've just said there's nothing new coming out. So that'll be interesting. But I'm sure there'll be some more stories that have broken over the last month with normally game developers or studios doing crappy things because unfortunately there's way more negative news than positive news at the minute. You can say that about everything, but especially about the gaming industry. But yeah, I want to thank Alan, Colm, and Pete for joining me. Say goodbye.
Can I just say quickly, keep an eye on my Stockbridge Works channel, guys. All I'm saying is just keep an eye on it. Because at some point in the next few weeks, there's going to be some good stuff there. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Then with that, I guess we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. Remember to like, subscribe, and obey.